This is the Marketing Umbrella Podcast, where it's all about getting the information you need from successful leading marketers to build and grow your digital marketing agency. Brought to you by Itamar Shafir, founder and CEO of Umbrella, the technology platform and brand that is powering thousands of marketing agencies around the country. Find him at umbrellaus.com. And now, here's your host, Itamar Shafir.
Welcome to the Umbrella Marketing Podcast, where we talk with successful marketing experts about ways to build and grow your digital marketing agency. My guest today is a social media maven. She generated billions of views on Facebook for her clients and grew her own LinkedIn page to 25,000 followers, generated over 50 million video views, 100% organically. I'm excited to say hello to Shay Rowbottom.
Hello, Itamar. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
And actually, that 25,000 followers is a little outdated now. Now I've got over 600,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Whoopsies. I got to tell my team to update that bio. Yeah. I think you've got an old one.
And it's 100% organic, right? Like I said.
Yes, completely organic. So that's been a big reason that people want to connect to me. And one of my main differentiators is I've always worked with organic video marketing. Even that last agency I had on Facebook, my original company, where I learned everything that I know now about viral video. Everything we did was organic, and it was really, I was very fortunate, I will say, to be in that position at such a young age, because through accumulating all those video views across so many different channels, I was basically just swimming in data. And that data really showed me patterns and a strategy for going viral. What sort of videos get more views? Why do they get more views? How do we edit them to get more views? And which audience responds better and which demographic and all this and that. So yeah, if you want to talk about that, I'm happy to share that segue into LinkedIn and how I got here now.
I definitely just want to tell the listeners that today we're going to talk about, obviously, like we talk in every episode, how we grow our agency and how we help our clients. And Shay is a LinkedIn expert, but in fact, she's actually a social media expert. Like I mentioned before, billions of views that she got her clients on Facebook before she started her LinkedIn agency. And what we want to talk about before we dive into how our agencies, our listeners, can actually grow their business with LinkedIn, Shay, maybe you can, tell us a little bit about your movement, right, into the agency world and how you grew your agency using these methods.
Yes, absolutely. So it's actually a really cool story. So I had the company on Facebook. That was my first company. I was doing viral video content for a large blog. It started with one blog. I actually just got lucky. I met a blog owner who had like over 2.5 million likes on Facebook. He needed video content. I had just gotten into the editing world, so I started editing his videos, and they were very successful. They were really helped his page, and the algorithm was really starting to favor video at this time. This would have been early 2016. And I got basically passed around word of mouth from other blog owners, because these blog owners on Facebook, all these big pages, they know one another and they network and they share tips and tricks. So they saw the one page that I was doing the videos on, and they started asking, who's doing your videos? And back then I really did not consider myself a business owner. I was much more just a freelancer editing videos, working for myself. And I started getting more and more clients wanting these videos. So I started to hire, I started to train other editors, started to scale. And before I knew it, I was one of the largest providers of video content on Facebook, doing over 1 billion views a month organically, cumulatively for those clients. So it was incredible. It was fun. What millennial doesn't want to just work on the internet all day and, make fun videos? So it was really a dream come true. But I will say, it was a struggle as well, because one of the things that began to happen once we expanded, and I did eventually get an investment and started to expand into more traditional advertising campaigns for like commercial products, doing media buying campaigns on Facebook now, and using the viral video to actually run paid content, retarget, and all of that. But there was a challenge in finding clients for that end of things. And I was actually not very fulfilled in my business anymore. I started to get really sick of it. It had grown bigger than me. I had brought on partners, I had brought on investors. It just got to the point where I wasn't having fun anymore. I
Mm.
didn't feel like it was mine. And I was realizing a lot about myself on a personal level in terms of like my own imposter syndrome and my own lack of self-esteem and confidence. And so um I actually ended up writing a prayer in my diary one night when I came home from work. And I said, "Dear God, please send me a sign that things will get better for me. Please send me a sign that my life will have purpose and won't be in vain. Please help me feel alive again."
Wow.
Yep, and that was it. And I'm like not even very like religious at all. I just like I was really called to write that prayer. I just felt like I got to get out of this business, but I'm stuck. I felt like I couldn't leave. I felt so codependent. And 1 week after I wrote that prayer in my diary, I met a man who told me to get on LinkedIn. And it was totally divine, like divine timing. I was like, wait a minute, LinkedIn? Like I thought that was a resume platform. I'm so confused. You're saying I can get clients there for my marketing agency? And he was like, absolutely, Shay. Here's the thing. Video only came out as a feature on LinkedIn just recently. Like LinkedIn has been around for decades, but video was never there until now. And guess what? Nobody knows how to use it. You, Shay, doing all these videos for your clients on Facebook, like you know all about video. You should
Yeah.
get on LinkedIn and start applying what you've learned through the Facebook marketing agency to your own blog. And one of the blessings that I didn't even realize I was creating for myself was it can be very challenging as a marketing and an agency owner to sell prospects when you yourself don't have a following. I
Mm.
didn't actually have a following when I was doing billions of views a month on Facebook. I had no following myself. That was all word of mouth. Now, of course, the reality is you can be a valuable marketer and you can have amazing services without you yourself also having a brand and a following. But a lot of people don't buy it. It's just harder to sell people. So what I didn't realize I was about to do for myself when I got on LinkedIn is I was about to finally establish that authority where my close rate was about to skyrocket because I became my own testimonial.
And I know that, I saw one of your videos when you say that in 2 months, and correct me if I'm wrong, that in 2 months since you
I was
started the
getting there.
agency,
Yes. Yeah, I was
you
getting
already
there.
got like 6 figures. And
Yes. So that's what I wanted to share. So I started doing, this is my goal in the beginning. I didn't do anything crazy. I just did 3 original selfie videos per week on my LinkedIn. I was very inspired by this man I met. I felt like it was divine. It was not a coincidence that he was sent into my life, and I got on LinkedIn and started making my own videos. So I just did 3 original videos per week, talking about marketing, giving away free advice, how to make videos, just, providing value and all that. Also talking about myself, also, sharing and being vulnerable. And there also wasn't a lot of people doing that on LinkedIn. And yes, within 2 months of posting these videos consistently on my LinkedIn, I had generated over 6 figures in revenue for that Facebook marketing agency at the time.
wow.
And yeah, I mean, that was really when the light bulbs went off. I realized, like, wait a minute, there's a whole nother business here. Like, what am I doing in this Facebook agency that I've really grown to resent? And I don't feel supported here. I don't feel like I have control anymore. I want to go do my own thing. And creating these videos and putting my voice out there and teaching other business owners how to do it, it actually really gave me fulfillment. It answered my prayer. It gave me the confidence I was looking for. It made me feel alive. And so yeah, a few months after that, I sold my shares in the Facebook marketing agency. I said goodbye to Facebook and I pivoted to LinkedIn completely, where today I help business owners and professionals, agency owners, other marketers create effective videos for the LinkedIn platform to drive inbound leads so that they have a much warmer pool of prospects who are much easier to close when you get on the phone.
So probably a lot of the listeners, are hearing you now. They're saying, this lady, she looks good. She sounds good. She's a talent. I'm I'm not a talent. How do I get on the video? How do I present myself? How do I present my company? My company is actually better looking than I am, quote unquote. And like, how do I do that? Would that help, or would it actually, create a lashback? What do you tell those clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have a wide range of people who come into my program. Some of them actually do already make videos. They're just not having the success they deserve. So they want to, up their game. But I actually get a lot of people who've never been on camera before. And those are some of my favorite clients because you're right. They do think, oh, because I'm not Shay and I don't have this bubbly personality, like nobody's going to watch me. It's actually not true. A lot of people in their storytelling on social media and in their marketing and their promotion, like they make the mistake of thinking that they need to be extraordinary to get the attention. It's actually the opposite. You need to be ordinary. The more ordinary you are, the more relatable you are. The more people are actually going to come in the door and be like, oh, wow, this Itamar guy, like I actually relate to him. He's talking about his family. He's talking about work-life balance. Maybe perhaps you share an experience of hardship in business, getting fired, having a rough exit. I mean, so many people can relate to that. That's not extraordinary. No, you didn't just go climb Mount Everest barefoot like Wim Hof. You're just ordinary. But that's actually more relatable. And it's the storytellers out there and the influencers who try to be so larger than life, who try to be so, hey, I'm amazing. Look at how untouchable I am. They actually will get less sales because they're less relatable. So I say, if you feel like you're just a plain Jane, an average Joe, ordinary person, that's exactly why you should get on camera, because so many people out there are going to relate to you and they're going to see you from that perspective in these videos you create. And it's actually going to get them in the door to do business in a way that perhaps they never would have been curious about your business before if you didn't connect to them first on that human level.
And you're also talking about your in your videos that I watched a few, and also now I hear that in the subtext, being the authentic self of you. How, what tips can you give the listeners to kind of bring that out, being the authentic them, but still being, like you said, okay, I'm ordinary, fine, I'll just talk about things, but I still need to be interesting. And what does it mean to be authentic? Like, how would that help me?
Yeah, great question. There's a couple different paths that people can take. And the reality is, we are all different. So I always say, for anyone who's new to getting on camera and they're nervous, you probably don't want to start with like trying to be like raw and vulnerable and share all your, personal life. Like I totally understand that can be really overwhelming. Instead, what you can do, and this is something I break down in my program, is really just be helpful. Ask yourself this, what do I know as an expert in my industry that my target market doesn't know that would simply just make their lives easier? So like for me, for example, my target market is anyone who needs help starting videos. They don't even know where to start. I could make some content being helpful, like here's 5 tips for writing headlines for your video content, or the ideal length of a video for the LinkedIn platform, or how to overcome your fear of getting on camera. These are all things that are just going to be valuable to my target market. So figure out exactly what it is that keeps your target market up at night. What are the FAQs? What are the frequently asked questions that people are confused about in your industry? And just start knocking down those objections in your video content. And what you do when you do that is you inadvertently start to position yourself as an authority in that space. So, I don't pitch, I don't ask for anything. I'm just simply giving away free video marketing tips. And at some point or another, people decide, yeah, it's time for me to do video. And who am I going to go to? Oh, well, of course, Shay. She's already been providing me all this free value on her blog.
Right.
I'm going to go hit up her and her team because they know what they're doing.
Yep.
Now, the second part of that is, and this is a tough one on LinkedIn, and this is one that I've helped a lot of business owners overcome, is there's this misconception that we all need to be professional. We can't share anything personal on LinkedIn. Like, emotions don't belong in business, right? Like we've all heard that. So the funny thing is, emotions do belong in business, and I'm maybe a little biased because I'm a very emotional woman, and that's my edge. But I think at the end of the day, people do business with people, not businesses. And so when you're only ever talking about your business, when you're only ever giving tips, it's like, yeah, of course you're going to bring people in the door. You will get business. And I do have clients who are very private, who are very reserved, who do work in corporate, who have restrictions, who can't overshare or open up and be personal or opinionated. And they do still get business just doing the route I mentioned about being helpful. However, if you want to really level up your inbound leads, I do recommend you get authentic. I really do. I recommend you just share who you really are and what you really believe in. You know, people buy from people who believe in things, who stand for things. So you look at my content, you know, it's not always about marketing. I'll get on there and share my beliefs about like, hey, you know, I think as an example, like I think college is bullshit. And this is why I feel like college is bullshit. And I don't worry about all the people who are going to disagree and get offended and say, well, actually, no, Shay, this is my experience.
I actually want to take something a bit more edgy that you put out there.
Okay.
In my
Oh,
opinion,
okay, what's this?
yeah. So I saw it. I don't know how it got on my feed. By the way, it was before we scheduled an interview.
Oh, funny.
And
Okay.
after that, I saw, you know, when Jane sent me the list, she says, Shane said, awesome. Exactly the person I want to interview. And one of the reasons is because I got a video and it was about you talking about how millennial men are being
Emasculated.
right?
Yes.
And it had nothing to do with business, at least the part that I saw. And you were really, you know, giving your opinion. You were trying to detail why you weren't, you know, going all rah, 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 or, you know, trying to just be a demagogue. You were really trying to get into it and then explain why you feel that way. And I got it. But I also felt at that point in time, this lady is taking a risk. Like, as a professional, some people are going to really like it.
Yeah.
And are going to say, this, you know, Shay is awesome. A, because she's speaking her mind, and B, because I agree with her. And some people are going to say, no, you know, she's out of her mind. What is she doing? Like, this is completely, you know, not in accordance to what I believe in.
Exactly.
As a woman, maybe more the ladies than the guys in that specific video. What kind of feedback did you get on that video?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm actually really glad that you brought up that example because that's a great example of just, you know, sharing something that you really believe in and trusting that it's going to attract the right people. Like, yes, at the end of the day, you're going to turn off business, but you're going to bring in more business that otherwise wouldn't have found you just through your video marketing tips, you know? So I was inspired after a phone call that I had with a male business owner. Actually, it was a phone. We're collabing on some things. He's coming down here to Fort Lauderdale next month. We're going to do a summit live in person, which is exciting. And excuse me, he and I really got in this conversation about, you know, why does it seem like there's not as many like male role models anymore for young men? It seems like there's a lot more women standing out and being outspoken, speaking the truth. And it got us on this topic of like the emasculation of men, which I've actually studied quite a bit because I grew up in a narcissistic family where my father was emasculated, my mother was emasculating. And it was this very unconscious energy that it took me years to unpack and dissect and understand the toxicity that comes from that sort of environment, all because simply, you know, people don't have awareness. You know, I'm not demonizing my parents. I do believe they did the best they could with what they were taught from their parents, but I started to pick up on this cycle of emasculation of men in our culture and truthfully in many cultures around the world. I have a lot of Jewish friends who talk about this. This is a big thing in the Jewish community. Again, a lot of men feel emasculated. What is happening is it's breaking down the family unit. So when we see a lot more divorce and a lot more people unfulfilled, you know, women are stressed out, women are unhappy, I think it actually comes down to men not feeling safe to be masculine anymore. And I talked, and this is the controversial part. I talked about the feminist movement and I said, you know, look, great movement. Am I happy I got my rights to vote and work and start a business? Hell yes. And I wouldn't take that back for anything. And thank you to the women before me who fought for this. The problem is with modern day feminism, it's been very hijacked. It's no longer what it was. I do believe that women have achieved equality for the most part. You know, there are certain struggles that come from being a woman exclusively that I'm not going to deny, but my position in that post was, maybe this isn't working anymore. Maybe this feminist movement today, I'm not talking about, you know, decades ago, I'm talking about today, maybe it's actually just designed to make men and women fight so that we're not united, so that we don't raise strong families anymore. Because when you weaken the family unit, you become a lot easier to control. And that was the message of the video. And you know what, Itamar, like, I had no idea it would go viral. I had no idea. I was just posting my opinion. I said, look, I think this is a conversation we need to start talking about. I feel a lot of people are afraid of offending and not being PC. And like, no, this is really what I believe about feminism. Like, I love women. I love being a woman in business. I wouldn't change that for anything. However, let's get realistic about what is actually working anymore. And I posted it and I went to bed. I woke up the next morning. It had over 100,000 views.
Jeez.
And yeah, in one morning. And it's gone on to grow. It's been one of my most viral videos ever. Now it has over 850,000 views on LinkedIn, tens of thousands of engagement. I got tons of new followers. I got tons of business because, again, people buy from people who believe in things. You can't say anything of a value without offending someone. So if you want to be valuable, if you want to be valuable and you want to inspire some people, you have to get over your fear of being disliked by other people. And that's what brings people in the door.
And what kind of filter do you're going to post that post, it's a personal post, but at the same time, you also know I have a business, people are watching me. I have clients that are watching me. Do you have some sort of filter going on there and saying, that's it, these are my kind of boundaries, and there is a limit, and some things I won't do. I won't say.
Great question. So this actually goes to conversation we were touching on a little bit before this recording, Itamar, which is like, everyone has a different limit. So for myself, like, I'm self-employed. I'm 100% independent. I don't even have partners. I have no one to answer to but myself. So I totally understand that if you are in a position where maybe you work corporate or you have partners, you have other people to consider, you might not have as much free reign to just go out and say whatever you want. Even if it truly is something you really stand for and believe in, you have to be considerate of the other people also depending on you. I don't have that. So I'm very much, I have a lot of faith in that when I share what I really believe in, I'll get more business. And some people, if they work corporate or they have partners, I just say, go with your own level of comfortability. Just share as much as you can in that position. Like, if you're not able to be 100% raw and authentic in all your true beliefs, that's fine. Just be as open as you can, push the boundary a little, because those emotional, opinionated based videos really do get people in the door that otherwise wouldn't have cared about me if I was just posting about marketing. There's so many LinkedIn marketers. Why do people choose to work with me and not other LinkedIn marketers? It's because they connect to me on a human level through my personal videos and my opinionated posts where I'm willing to put myself out there. And I won't even lie. I did lose one client. I lost one client from it. I did, but I gained way more. I just got one guy. He was super nice. He wasn't even like, he wasn't even in disagreement with me. Honestly, he works in a corporate environment where it's very PC. It's very, don't ever say anything negative about feminism. And he said, I can't be associated with you anymore, Shay. I got to go. And I said, okay, respect. But that was, again, one person that left, and I got 20 plus more people in the door.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Umbrella. Have an agency? Check out umbrellaus.com to grow it today.
So, okay. So let's say they start with more, let's say we're talking about these small agencies we have listening to you right now, and they're saying to themselves, okay, I want to start this. I'm not going to start with, something too controversial, but at least I know, I have some information I can share, like the original idea that we started this conversation with. And okay, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to put it on. How is it going to get following? Like, how am I going to drive traffic to it? I know to drive traffic with ads, but organically, how is this going to happen?
Great question. Yeah, really good question. So There's a couple different things on LinkedIn I suggest getting started when you have like a dead profile with no momentum and you maybe haven't posted in years, to actually, when you finally post, get more traction on that post and really get it going. And this is also all stuff that I do break down in my program. It's like the step-by-step guide. How do you know what topics to talk about? How do you formulate those into videos? How do you shoot them? How do you get them edited? How do you optimize them for LinkedIn? And all that technical stuff. But I would say what's really special about LinkedIn is there's not a lot of competition. There's more users on LinkedIn than there are people actually creating content. It's actually similar to TikTok in that way. There's so many people on the platform, but so few of them are actually posting. So when there's that many people viewing and only a small percentage of them are posting, that you have a really high chance of your post showing up in the feed because they've got to show something to these people, right? So that right there was part of my success on LinkedIn. Was, yeah, I knew video. Obviously, I had the technical skills and the background from my years on Facebook, but really there was just no competition. I just broke through the noise. So that right away, I'd say LinkedIn is an underutilized platform. Also, the audience here is way better for business. I mean, everyone here has money or connections to people with money or resources or power. And I would say, if your profile's dead, just make sure that you have some people to comment on your first post. That is a big thing. It's going to help boost you in the feed when you can at least get some people to, hey, I just posted my first LinkedIn post. Can you go comment on this? Literally, I don't even care if it's your mom. Just get somebody to go comment on that post. And that's going to, what happens when other users comment on your post on LinkedIn, LinkedIn now shares that to their network and all of their followers can see what they just commented on. So the bigger the following of the people commenting on your posts, the better. But I would say, especially in the beginning, just to give your profile that little jump start, you do want to have like some, it is technically inorganic, right? Because you're asking, you do want to have some like planned engagement to get you out into the feed. And then from there, there's all the technical things I go over in my program, like start with a headline, keep it short. How do you write the copy? How do you really optimize it for the LinkedIn user and what they're used to consuming here? But I would say one of the main things for me starting out was that guy that I met, who taught me about LinkedIn. He had a little community of LinkedIn video people that when I did my first post, they all went and like shared and commented on it. And like, I think actually it was like my first couple posts, maybe the first week or so they were doing that so that other people on LinkedIn were able to see me that otherwise wouldn't have seen me. And then those other people started following, commenting, liking, and they took it over from there. And then Amazing. I was fully organic. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's an excellent tip. We'll take it also in-house to our network, actually crisscrossing that comments. Does it have to be specifically comments or can it be likes? Can it be something else?
Well, likes help, shares help. I think comments are still the most heavily weighted on LinkedIn. If you can get comments, you're gonna be more favored in the algorithm. And also specifically comments that are long, comments that are conversational, comments that are going to drive other people to look at the comments and reply to those comments. And now look, you've got a whole thread of conversations happening in the comment section that I'm not even, I the poster, I'm not even a part of, it's just like kind of taken on a life of its own. And that's actually what happened with this viral post about feminism and the emasculation of men in society. Like there was so many people commenting like paragraph long Itamar, like it was huge comments. Some in major agreement, some in major disagreement, but the bottom line is it created conversation. And when you can create conversation in the comments, you're much more likely to just keep showing up in the feed and going viral.
Okay, cool. So for those so the listeners who are listening to you now and they're thinking, I want to do what this course he's talking about. I know it's a 6 weeks course, right? You can get it like in A to Z in 6. Well, I wouldn't say A to Z, but you can get started in 6 weeks.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
You can A to Z?
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
wow.
Yeah, so it's an online program. It's a 6-week LinkedIn video bootcamp. So I'll break it down a little bit. It's designed to take 6 weeks. If you dedicate a half hour every evening, every weekday for 6 weeks, you'll get through the program A to Z. And you come out armed and ready to create videos in the same way I have on LinkedIn to attract, again, inbound leads. This is the moneymaker. So I don't do anything outbound. I don't do anything paid. All of my traffic for business comes from people who saw my content in the feed, reached out to me, and then we got on the phone. And therefore, my close rate is so much higher because everyone's coming to me. And again, this is something I didn't have on Facebook. I had to, word of mouth, like talk, hey, I'm a agency owner. I do these videos. I did not have my own following. I did not have my own proof, my own testimonial. You go on my LinkedIn, I am my own testimonial. No one's going to question that I don't know what I'm doing in marketing, So it's really increased my close rate. And the more I grow, the easier it gets to close people. But what was the question again? I forgot now. I went on a little
the 6-week course.
Oh yeah, the program. Yes. So week 1, I really break down social media overview in general. It's really important that you understand, how to lay the foundation before you build the house. And that's also really important for the viewer listening who's like, I've literally never even posted a video on social media. This is going to give you, the overview of like the science behind it and what works. And then week 2, we teach you how to come up with content ideas around your industry specifically. We walk you through some exercises. It's not just online videos. There's also live coaching, weekly calls, homework, a community that you gain access to, which I'll get into. Yeah. So we'll teach you how to actually write scripts, how to touch on your target market's pain point, how to come up with ideas. And then week 3, you're actually getting on camera. So now you've got the ideas, you're going to shoot. We're going to teach you how to have confidence getting on camera, all the way to week 4, where we teach you how to edit. If you want to edit, how to outsource to an editor. And that's actually a lot of why people hire me. I give you all my SOPs. I myself started out as a social media video editor. I've trained hundreds of people on how to edit videos for social media in my days. So my standard operating procedures for how to do this for the LinkedIn newsfeed is really, really tight. And when you join my program, you get handed that. You get access to that. You can go give it to your editors. You can go give it to your team. And you have Shay's training right there built in. So you can start to actually edit these videos and optimize them for LinkedIn. All the way down to week 5, I just teach you about LinkedIn, the tips and tricks of this platform specifically. What makes LinkedIn different? How can you show up as an active user on the platform? How can you engage in different ways that's going to now boost you in the algorithm when it's your turn to post? And then week 6, we just touch on sustainability and staying consistent with everything you've learned. And from there, I actually do have a graduate community that most of my graduates join. It's just a monthly community where you get to stay and continue to have access to the weekly calls. We're always interviewing experts on LinkedIn, keeping it relevant. And a big thing I will say, Itamar, about the program that I think is just equally as valuable as all of my teachings and all of my lessons on like, hey, how do you start to actually do this yourself, A to Z, is the community, the people that you meet here. Because remember, when we have never done videos before and we start making these selfie videos and posting on social media, actually, sadly, a lot of the people in our lives can be a little like unsupportive. Like friends and family can be like, what are you doing? Like, you're making these videos, like, you're so weird. Like, this isn't you. Like, and that can make it so much harder because you're already getting brave and getting on camera. And then the people around you are like a little uncomfortable, like, well, stop, and it can actually be very discouraging. So I find that when people join this community, they gain access to a bunch of people who are all going through the same thing. Nobody's going to laugh at you. Nobody's going to discourage you or make fun of you. We're all here going through the same video journey. We're going to help one another. We're going to support one another's posts. We're going to give each other tips and hacks for getting on camera because we're all doing it together. So I really think that the community that people find here is half of the success as well as the teachings.
Amazing. Yeah, I can really appreciate the community aspect. I agree. It's also very important for accountability. Like you said before, how do you stay consistent? Most people don't. And that the community can give you an extra push to kind of keep at it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's actually why I didn't have it originally, but that's actually why I created the graduate community. After you graduate, you're eligible to join. It was for that, to help people stay consistent and stay in the community.
Okay, amazing. Where can people sign up for that course?
For sure. Yeah. Well, go to my website. It's just shayrowbottom.com. So there's a form there. You can apply to schedule a call. I do also have a LinkedIn agency. So for the viewer listening who already has content, maybe you already have like a Facebook channel, an Instagram, or a YouTube that is popping, that has momentum, and you already make videos, you just don't have anything on your LinkedIn. I do have a done for you agency that you can check out on the website as well, where we'll actually take all of your already existing content and we'll repurpose it to LinkedIn and run your page for you. But just to be clear, in order to qualify for that, you do already have to have content. So if you're like, oh, I want that, but I don't even have any videos yet, buy the bootcamp, go through the online program first so you know how to make your own videos. And then from there, you're eligible to become an agency client where, yes, we'll edit those videos for you and manage your page, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, great. So guys, we don't usually promote anything on the Umbrella Marketing Podcast, but Shay obviously kicks ass.
I'm so special.
No, you are special. We mentioned, but I think, you should get the stage because everybody should learn to do what you do. And I also want to talk about, kind of a tangent from the business, all the business stuff that we talked about is the healing side, because I'm very interested in that. When we talked before this session, you told me because you started the videos, you went into healing as well. And I want to understand how that is connected and what healing are you talking about?
Oh, yes. Great question. Well, I did allude to it a little before, like in my last agency, I just grew very unfulfilled. I felt like I didn't have my own voice there. I had so many partners toward the end. My investors and I weren't getting along. And like, I was really struggling to feel like I could actually go start over on my own. I didn't really feel like I had confidence. I started making these videos and oh my gosh, it just gave me so much confidence. It just like totally changed my energy. When I started posting these videos, I started to get a lot of support from the LinkedIn community. I started to meet really valuable connections who could help me go off on my own and form my own offers and create my own LinkedIn agency. And that's what I've seen for my clients. It's like time and time again, people come to me for the ROI, for the like, hey, I want this marketing so I can get more business coming in, without even realizing at the end of the program, they're like, holy crap, my close rate went up. I'm more confident in my public speaking. I had one client, his wife thanked me like, oh my God, thank you. My husband's like so much more confident now. So, I really think that there's just something to getting on camera that is like the ultimate healing. It really teaches you a lot about yourself. It can show you where you have been suppressing your truth and, dimming your own voice, your own light to make others happy. And I think that business in general, it is a journey back to ourselves. I think there's a lot of aspects to growing a business that will teach you where you still have places to heal. Why am I not making sales? Why do I still have, okay, it looks like I have limiting beliefs about money. Okay, it looks like I'm afraid to confront my employees when, they did something incorrectly and I don't want to, seem too forceful or whatever. It kind of like shows us these areas of ourselves that we need to heal because we are ultimately responsible for our business, for our staff, and for our clients. And in order to show up in the highest good for them, we do need to work on ourselves. And I think that creating videos is a great shortcut into personal development and really finding who you are and standing firm in your truth and building that confidence that we all deserve.
I get it. I'm trying to dissect it in my head. You're basically saying this is now I need to get in front of the camera, find my authentic self, which is already a very heavy step to do on the road to healing, is finding an authentic voice. And then I need to voice it out loud and I hear myself and then this is not authentic. And then it comes back and I need to say it again. And now I am authentic. And I'm also empowering myself as I speak more and more and creating a persona for myself online and creating my essential persona, my authentic persona. It's very smart.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll say about that is, a lot of times we just feel alone in what we believe. A lot of times we feel like shame. Like, I don't want to share this. Like, I'm weird. No one's going to agree with me. If you're feeling that way about a post or about a video idea, that's actually proof that you should post it. That's proof that like, if you are thinking it and feeling it and are afraid to say it, how many other people out there do you think are feeling the exact same way and just aren't saying it because they're scared? So be the light, be the first one to go for it. And you'll actually start to attract people who really align with you. I don't have to hide myself in business anymore. I don't have to show up with this like metaphorical mask and a suit and tie, like, okay, I'm going to do business. Like that's draining. All of the clients I attract, they like me for me. They know the real me because I've shown up as the real me in my content. And therefore it creates just a much, much more aligned clientele. That's just a breath of fresh air to work with. You know, I show up on my coaching calls. I have nothing to hide. I'm just me. I know that these people accept me. They're here for my marketing. Maybe some of them like my personal opinions on me. Maybe some of them are like, yeah, this Shay chick's a little quacky, but she's a good marketer. I'm just going to learn, you know, whatever. There's a spectrum, but I think that at the end of the day, when you can get brave and speak your truth and share who you really are, you'd be surprised to find your life will unfold to become much more aligned in that energy. And you will actually attract the people that you've been waiting to attract your whole life that you otherwise would have just still been in this place of thinking, well, hey, maybe they don't really exist. Maybe I'm just really alone. Maybe I got to act this way to get clients, not knowing, no, they are out there, but you need to expose yourself first in order to attract these people that you really get along with and will actually enjoy working with more.
I like it. Great advice. I like it. Like it a lot. So the last section of the podcast, we always do a rapid Q&A.
Oh gosh, I'm so bad at these. I can never answer quickly, but I'll try my best.
Quick and concise. That's
okay,
even
all right, Itamar. I'm gonna do my best. I'll do my best.
But if you feel something, it's not too heavy. But if you feel something is too much for you, you can just say pass. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So first question: did you get along with your parents growing up?
No.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have 4 sisters.
Do you have a pet?
No.
When are you planning to have kids? If you are planning.
I'm not sure. I've never really wanted kids. I've always been focused on my business, but I think when the right man shows up, I do think it could happen.
When do you wake up?
It really depends. I'm usually a night owl. I'm working on waking up earlier. I would say right now, on average, I've been waking up around like 9 a.m. EST.
And when do you go to bed?
Usually around 1, midnight, 1.
Ideal vacation.
I live in Miami, so I'm always on vacation.
Good answer. I think you already answered my last question. I'm going to ask it anyway. Are you a woman of faith?
Yes, I actually am. I did not grow up very religious. I grew up in a non-denominational church, and religion was never forced down my throat, which I actually appreciate. So I don't belong to any sort of formal religion or church, but I do have my own connection to God and spirituality. And I do pray. I pray a lot. That's part of how I manifest what I want in life. Is I pray, I give thanks for what I already have, and I ask God for what I'm still wanting to achieve. That's
wonderful. So Shay, this interview was excellent. You shared so much important information for the listeners. And guys, go to Shay's website, get on the course, 6-week course, and then you can get a ton of clients via LinkedIn. I think that would be amazing. I really want to thank you for being with us. And actually, I hope I can interview again in the near future. I'm sure you're going to do another thing. Like if it was Facebook, LinkedIn, 3 years, we're going to talk. Going to be, right? The new thing is going to blow up.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Thank you so much. And the last thing I'll say about LinkedIn is just, it really is the most conscious social media platform. Everyone here is in the mindset to do business. Everyone here has access to money. It's just a great place, especially for like B2B high ticket marketing. So I really encourage anyone, if you're running ads on Facebook or Instagram, but you're not posting organically on LinkedIn, start now, because you already have the content, you already have the messaging. And this is just a very, very ideal platform for getting connected to those high-level professionals that will help you succeed in business.
Excellent. Thank you, Shay.
Thank you, Itamar.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Marketing Umbrella Podcast, where we provide the information you need from successful leading marketers to build and grow your digital marketing agency. Your host has been Itamar Shafir, founder and CEO of Umbrella, the technology platform and brand that is powering thousands of marketing agencies around the country. Find him at umbrellaus.com.